Scott Lee of Elega Corporation here. I'm in a hotel room here in San Francisco, and I flew out here for Trailhead X. It's a event for Salesforce training. It's basically like the Salesforce Developer Conference, essentially. And it was so depressing because, well, no, the conference wasn't depressing, but it was depressing driving in because I drove straight past GDC. And I've always wanted to go to GDC, right? But I've never gotten to go. So I saw GDC, and basically they were wrapping up GDC right as I was coming in for this event. Clearly that's a sign that I need to finish Age of Nomads and many of the other projects that I could potentially be doing into the future around video games, right? Let me show you this view real quick. This is fantastic. The traffic here is absolutely insane. But what I'm about to do, I'm about to go out that door, and I'm going to be very, very busy for the rest of the day. What I wanted to do originally, I wanted to record the Q&A session here in this video. I was going to go through all of the questions, recording it here in San Francisco. I thought it would just work really well, but unfortunately it's just been crazy. It's a grueling schedule at these conferences. So let me tell you a little bit about what's been going on with Elega, because things are moving very, very fast, and we have had a lot of things going on. And when I say we, I mean myself and an employee. So Elega now has a part-time employee. It is a media designer. I won't name them just in case they do not want to be named, but a few of you may already know who it is. They are going to be helping out with video editing, media content, some of the Pluralsight stuff and things like that. And as well as, just general graphic design needs of the company. There's a third Pluralsight course on the way, and it's also Salesforce focused. So I've now done Getting Started with Asynchronous Apex on Force.com. I've done Salesforce Workflow Getting Started, and coming up soon, I am now working on Salesforce Process Builder Getting Started. And the focus is it's all about getting people ready for the core of Salesforce automation and Salesforce development and Salesforce admins and people who are wanting to go down that track in their career. And Salesforce is awesome, but I definitely want to express some of my more fine-tuned opinions about it. But Salesforce is great because it allows you to do so much out of the box without having to really write a whole lot of code, especially for lower scale things that you may need to get done. So that's going on. I'm definitely continuing with this whole Pluralsight thing, and it's going very, very well. I think it's going to continue going well into the future. And then the other thing that is happening right now is Project Papa. And Project Papa is still top secret, but I'm hoping that I can make an announcement toward the end of 2018. And it's been very difficult to juggle things like this conference, the Project Papa itself, and then Pluralsight, and then still working at the day job essentially, full time, and then the activity there has picked up as well. Things are very, very busy there. So yeah, it's insane. But things are growing, and I'm continuing to get new ideas about where to go in the future. One of the places Elega may go is into the realm of science. I've been learning about physics. I've been learning about spectroscopy. Spectroscopy is where you can understand the chemical composition of materials by splitting the light that is reflected off of them. And then there's these little black spaces that appear in the light, and based on that pattern, you can discern what the chemical composition of something is. And it has to do with the fact that light is getting absorbed by certain chemical elements that may be present in the material. And so what is this used for? Well, it's used in oil and gas, for one thing, to analyze the composition of oil to make sure it's clean oil. It's used in astronomy to understand the composition of stars that are very, very far away outside of our solar system. We may not be able to travel to a distant star, but we do get the light from a distant star, and then we can split the light from that using spectroscopy, which is basically splitting a light through a prism, and then understand what the star is made of. And so it's a very, very fascinating field, and especially when you combine the technique of spectroscopy with AI and with algorithms, you know, that's very, very powerful. You know, that's the beginning of, like, if you imagine, like, in Star Trek, there used to be this thing called the tricorder that was very, very famous, because the guys in Star Trek would be walking around with the tricorder. They would be able to basically just hold the tricorder next to something and see, oh yes, this is, you know, made of such and such, and there's an energy field with blah blah blah. You know, it's like we have devices now in our pockets that are very, very similar to tricorders were on Star Trek. We may not be able to do spectroscopy with our phones or with our, you know, our smart devices or whatever you want to call them, but we can. We are definitely approaching that point, and that is very, very interesting. But, you know, you may wonder, okay, Scott, well, what is spectroscopy potentially going to be good for in your particular case? You know, I don't know. But what I do know is that when you combine science and technology, you get amazing things. And so it's thinking in that arena that is really, really fascinating. And then, of course, you know, during the day, I work for a company that does a lot of residential solar power. And so if you can understand chemical science, and you can understand physics, and you can understand the science of energy, then that is extremely valuable, potentially. Anyone who makes a huge advancement in the realm of being able to better harness light as energy, or anyone who makes a huge advancement in battery storage technology, is going to just make loads of money. And it's going to be great for humanity, because we'll have cleaner energy, and everyone wins, essentially. As someone who wants to start a business, there are few areas that are probably you know, better win-win scenarios than that. As far as, you know what, as a aspiring entrepreneur, you could make millions of dollars while at the same time pushing humanity forward. So, you know, it's important that we keep pushing ourselves, and it's important that you push yourself. By the way, in the description below, I have a link to Pluralsight. It is an affiliate link, you know, full disclosure, it's an affiliate link. It's basically the technology learning platform. You have everything on there. You have libraries for learning .NET. If you don't know how to code, you can go there and learn how to code. If you want to learn tools, if you want to learn administration, if you want to learn networks of any kind, whether it's, you know, cloud tools like Salesforce, you want to go learn databases like Oracle and Postgres and Microsoft SQL Server and all these types of things. If you want any of that, Pluralsight has it. If you want to go into game development, Pluralsight has tons of game development content now. They have stuff on Unity Engine and Unreal Engine and so on and so forth. So definitely click the link and go check it out if you want to go into one of these kinds of technology careers. And I will have greater updates for you soon. You know, there's so much going on underneath the surface with this channel and with the company itself. So even if you don't see updates from me on Twitter, if you don't see updates from me when talking to me on the company Discord server, which you can also find in the description, even though you don't see those things, just know I have a lot of stuff coming, and it's gonna be great. I know I've been saying that for a long time, but I want you to understand that hours and hours every single week are getting poured in to really, really great technology-related projects with Elega Corporation. So that's all I have for you today. Please leave a comment and let me know your thoughts. If there's anything that you're particularly looking for out of Elega, I don't know what that would be. Maybe it would be Pluralsight, you know, maybe it would be Salesforce questions, things like that. Then this video is a good spot to post those. Or if you have questions about Pluralsight, I can try and do my best to answer those, but really it's just best if you go and look at their website. Their website has all the information you need. One last thing before I wrap up here, Age of Nomads is still on the shelf. So if you're hoping to see updates about the strategy game, just know Age of Nomads is not canceled. It is still going to eventually get done in some way or another. I've actually been contemplating maybe releasing it for free, because I do acknowledge that when you put a project on hold for super long periods of time, and if you don't make it a priority, it tends to suffer, and a lot of the time, you know, that means project death. So I'm looking into how to address that, and there's a strong chance, but I'm not going to say 100%, right? But there is some chance that Age of Nomads will be released for free, so that, and possibly even open source, guys. Like, I might even release the source code, so that if any developer wants to go and pick this up, they'll potentially be able to. And that is something I'm very strongly considering, because that is a way that people could both actually get to play the game, or at least what was finished of it, as well as pick it up and expand it if they really like the idea. And since, you know, since Age of Nomads was put on the shelf, there have been a number of other games that have hit the market. You know, there was a time, I would say a few years ago, where Age of Nomads was like one of a kind as far as the concept of Paleolithic man in a real-time strategy game. But there have been a number of other people and other developers who have come along and made some games in that arena. Now, did they do it the way that I would have done it? Probably not. You know, maybe not. But still, nonetheless, as far as the concept is concerned, there are some other games out there on the market. You can probably find them on Steam or itch.io or you know, GOG. All your favorite software vendors, they are probably out there. But at any rate, as far as Age of Nomads is concerned, it may be released for free, so stay tuned for details on that. Otherwise, I will try and figure out some way to pick the project back up in some reasonable amount of time. Guys, thanks so much for watching. I will talk to you soon. Please hit the thumbs up if you liked the update video, and remember that I have a lot more video content coming as well. Whew. Okay, all right, I'm gonna go face the music out there. Wish me luck. Thanks, guys.